Think you know it all? I bet you don't. Today we're diving into 10 common beliefs that are completely, utterly wrong. Get ready to have your mind blown, because some of these will make you question everything you thought was true. Let's start with a classic. First up, the poor, misunderstood goldfish. We've all heard it. Goldfish have a 3-second memory. It's a common joke, right? Well, the joke's on us because it's a total myth. Scientists have proven that goldfish can actually remember things for months. They can recognize their owners, distinguish between different shapes and sounds, and even be trained to do tricks like swimming through hoops or pushing a little ball. So next time you see a goldfish, remember it's not just swimming aimlessly. It probably remembers you from yesterday and might even be judging your fashion choices. They're way smarter than we give them credit for. Next, let's talk about world population. If I asked you to name the most populated country on Earth, what would you say? Most people would confidently answer China. For decades, that was the correct answer. But as of 2023, the tables have turned. India has officially overtaken China to become the world's most populous nation. It's a massive demographic shift that flew under the radar for a lot of people. So update your mental almanac, because this is a piece of trivia that will definitely come in handy. China is no longer number one. Okay, parents, this one's for you. Ever been to a kid's birthday party and watched them go wild after eating cake and candy? You probably sighed and said, it's the sugar rush. Well, I'm here to tell you that the sugar rush isn't real. Over a dozen controlled scientific studies have debunked this myth completely. They found no link whatsoever between sugar consumption and hyperactivity in children. So what's actually happening? It's the environment. Kids get excited at parties because they are with their friends, playing games, and are generally in a fun, stimulating situation. The sugar is just a bystander, not the culprit. The excitement was going to happen anyway, cake or no cake. Moving on, what do you think of when you picture pure, clean water? Maybe rainwater falling gently from the sky? It seems so natural and pristine. The reality, however, is a bit dirty. Rainwater is far from pure. As raindrops fall through the atmosphere, they act like little sponges, collecting everything in their path. This includes dust, pollen, soot, bacteria, and even chemical pollutants from our air. In heavily industrialized areas, this can result in what's known as acid rain. So, while catching raindrops on your tongue might be a fun childhood memory, it's probably not the cleanest drink you could have. Here's an old saying you've definitely heard. Lightning never strikes the same place twice. It's often used to suggest that a rare, bad event won't happen again. The only problem is, it's completely false. Lightning not only strikes the same place twice, it does so all the time. Just look at tall structures. The Empire State Building in New York City, for example, gets hit by lightning an average of over 100 times every single year. Tall trees, radio towers, and skyscrapers are all frequent targets. Lightning is simply looking for the most direct path to the ground, and it will happily use the same convenient tall object over and over again. So much for that old piece of wisdom. All right, let's head back to sugar for a moment, but this time for your teeth. Everyone knows sugar causes cavities, right? Well, not directly. It's a bit more complicated than that. Sugar itself doesn't drill holes in your teeth. The real villains are the bacteria that live in your mouth. These tiny organisms love to feast on the sugar you eat. As they digest it, they produce acid as a waste product. It's this acid that eats away at your tooth enamel, creating the tiny holes we call cavities. So, while cutting back on sugar is a great idea, the key to preventing cavities is actually getting rid of the acid-producing bacteria through good brushing and flossing. Now for a truly mind-bending one, you probably trust your eyes, right? You believe that what you see is a direct, accurate picture of the world around you. I'm sorry to break it to you, but it's not. You don't see reality. You see an edited version curated by your brain. Your eyes have a blind spot where the optic nerve connects, but you never notice it because your brain just fills in the gap with what it thinks should be there. It constantly corrects for motion, stabilizes your view, and even makes assumptions to interpret ambiguous information. What you perceive as sight is actually a heavily processed, filtered, and sometimes even fabricated reconstruction of reality, delivered to your consciousness a split second after the fact. Your brain is basically a live-in video editor. Let's travel back in time. Picture a Viking. What are they wearing? I bet you imagined a big, burly warrior with a horned helmet. It's an iconic image, seen in movies, cartoons, and sports team logos. But it's completely fake. Historians and archaeologists have found no evidence whatsoever that Vikings ever wore horned helmets in battle. Real Viking helmets were much more practical, usually simple dome-shaped caps made of metal or leather, designed for protection. The whole horned helmet idea was actually invented in the 1800s by a costume designer for an opera. The look was so dramatic and memorable that it just stuck, forever changing our popular image of the Vikings. Speaking of popular myths, let's talk about diamonds. A diamond is forever, a symbol of love, and incredibly rare and valuable. Or is it? While they are beautiful, diamonds are not nearly as rare as you've been led to believe. For over a century, the diamond industry, led by companies like De Beers, created an artificial scarcity by tightly controlling the global supply. They stockpiled massive quantities of diamonds to keep prices high. The idea that a diamond is the ultimate symbol of engagement and love was the result of one of the most successful marketing campaigns in history. So their value is less about natural rarity and more about brilliant, man-made demand. Finally, let's tackle a common winter misconception. It's a cold night, and someone offers you a shot of brandy or whiskey to warm you up. It sounds like a good idea, and you even feel warmer after drinking it. But that feeling is a dangerous illusion. Alcohol is a vasodilator, meaning it causes your blood vessels to widen, especially the ones near your skin's surface. This brings more warm blood to your skin, which is why you feel a flush of heat. However, this process is actually radiating your body's warmth out into the cold air, causing your core body temperature to drop faster. So while you might feel toasty for a moment, alcohol is actually making you colder and increasing your risk of hypothermia in a truly cold environment. So there you have it. 10 things you've probably been wrong about your whole life. From goldfish memories to Viking fashion, reality is often stranger and more interesting than the myths we believe. Which of these surprised you the most? Let me know down in the comments. Thanks for watching. And if you enjoyed getting your brain scrambled a little bit today, make sure to hit that subscribe button for more myth-busting content. See you next time.